Welcome everybody at the Killian Court at MIT, and today I'm really happy to present you a vlog about decision making in consortia between academia and industry. And this vlog actually is inspired by my colleague, which I met at CIC, so Center Innovation, Cambridge Innovation Center in Cambridge. Igor Bratslaver. And greetings, Igor, from this beautiful court, which is symbolizing science, but also it's MIT, so it's a Massachusetts Institute of Technology, so representing science and technology, which we very much as an innovator care about. But beyond the scenes, it's all about collaboration, especially which I'm personally focused on as a scientist, entrepreneur. Collaborations between academia and industry to bring innovation to the market, and as a startup commercialize it. Any type of discovery happened at academia. So Igor posed a question which I'd like to answer today, and the question is it better to be more democratic or more authoritative to drive project forward? And I like to bring my agile mindset here, my agile perspective, meaning looking at different angles. Looking from the angle of academic researcher, but also from the angle of industrial collaborator, angle of me as a catalyst, initiating consortia, catalyzing them, academic industrial ones. And it's important always to think, in a way, from different perspectives, like take and put yourself in other people's shoes, which can be for some people very difficult, like how can I stretch now myself, think like other people? Well, more you talk to people, more you collaborate with academia. I also had a last time very great opportunity to meet Women's League from MIT ladies. It's important to realize that depending on the position and different skills, you can make different decisions. So first of all, is it better to be more democratic? Yes. In terms of team-driven projects, yes. And that's what I'm trying to do, that each PI, principal investigator, and project manager representing company is a part of solution. So it's part of the decision-making process. And important side here is to take this perspective of leadership skills if we look at individual level. And not everybody has good leadership skills. Not every leading scientist has good leadership skills. Can be good scientist, but not necessarily good leader. And of course it depends on the years of experience leading the scientific group or research group. Then what also matters, which many people forget, is actually I am very international. I've been in many international labs, and what I have seen from my observation that this decision-making process is also depending very strongly on your country of origin. So who you are, from which country you have been born. I've been born in Poland, the country which actually had very different governments, from communistic, post-communistic, towards more democratic, and I see huge differences in making different decisions. So if you are coming from a country like China, you come from very authoritative country, so there you can find people which rather will represent more authoritative type if it comes to taking decisions. I also had great opportunity meeting here colleagues from MIT Sloan Management, but also Harvard, and talking to different MBA schools. And what I've seen that also, of course, it depends on your educational experience. If you did MBA, if you have executive MBA, if you worked long-term in industry, that really depends what type of experience you have. Then, of course, core values are important. What kind of values you find very important for yourself. For me, one of the core values is inclusion. So making sure that everybody is part of the team. and that makes it very different, and each international voice is part of the solution. Then type of organization. So what kind of organization you collaborate with, or entity, and what is the size of the organization. That also has tremendous consequences. Big organization, more, let's say, administrative time it will take to take any decisions working with external parties. And that would be a little bit a short answer to Igor's question. But of course, when I dive deeper with my favorite book by Jeff Karp, LEAD, Life Ignition Tools, Use Nature's Playbook to Energize Your Brain, Spark Ideas, Ignite Action. This book actually is also discussing a little bit elements of the decision-making process, because I think it's also important to think about some process of decision-making. It's not just a moment that you make decision, but it's a moment when you brainstorm, and that's what actually I do with my collaborators. We do brainstorming, and then that's the way, after brainstorming, we make decision, team-based decision. And during this brainstorming process, it's important to focus on certain I think dimensions, and I think these dimensions are very well are described by Jeff. Even he doesn't bring it as a dimension. So what he writes, what he wrote is really important in this brainstorming phase before final decision. We need to constantly challenge and often disrupt groupthink, so team, dogmas in the field, other people's assumptions, and even our own assumptions. So going to non-comfort zone, right? Stretching. By bouncing between focus and unfocused states, so all these different assumptions, personal and other people, we maximize the diversity of new possibilities, new solutions, new decisions, and frame the problem from multiple angles. Through this approach, we are often able to uncover new insights, in this way, new decisions, than others have missed, providing novel routes towards a potential solution. Questions serve as the pinch that helps us steadily advance to new territory in our innovation process, especially bio-inspirational innovations process, which bio-inspire think tank do. So that's one thing which I'd like to bring here. The other thing which is important, which Jeff is paying attention to, and I found particularly important in this brainstorming process before making this final team decision, we work intentionally to avoid the path of at least resistance. How? We use strategic questions to pinch our attention. And this is really important in this brainstorming process before making final decision. What can our existing technologies do? More important, what can they not do? And how does this match up with the current problem definition? Because what matters most now is what is needed. What have others tried? What has failed? What has sort of worked but not well enough? What was published? What aspects of biology, medicine, and technology and translation, scalability, patents, clinical trials, and so on are important to consider early in the process? What's the best results that others have achieved? And in what model system? Was that in vitro or in vivo? What is the result we need to achieve if we were to electrify the field and get investors, collaborators in terms of academia, but also industry, and the community excited about this? What will enable us to dramatically advance the field and benefit patients? So and also research. It's about patients, but it's also about R&D research. So these are things which I think are very crucial, especially this question which I just brought, starting from what can our existing solution do. So brainstorming phase is very important, answering this question, trying to answer them, trying to find answers by brainstorming together, and then finally making a solution. And making solution by also taking these choices, right? Taking every step we move towards final solution, taking choices which will lead us to the best solution. So every time you actually, this is not just one decision, there's going to be several steps where we need to make decision on how we're going to improve this solution, or how we're going to bring this innovation as a solution to the market. So that's something which I think it's very important to realize, and that it's not one stop, and it should be democratic. That's how I feel, especially in terms of academic industrial collaborations, that each of us is part of the decision and is contributing to it, and each of us is part of the solution therefore. So this is extremely important to realize, and that's what I have been doing already over 7 years as a bio-inspired think tank. So thank you very much for listening from this very beautiful court square. I'm sending to you warm greetings. It's still 29 degrees, so it's great weather to actually have picnic and sit here around and study, have some inspirational building around, which is a symbol of the best technologies developed in America. But not only this institute is important one, but it's definitely inspirational. So thank you for listening. Stay tuned. If you have questions, please put them in the comments. I'm very happy to answer them. And see you next time. Bye!